John, what's your level of concern with the way the team has played in 2 of the last 3 games for sure?
Yeah, obviously wasn't good enough at all today. Starts with me, and when you look at it, taking care of the football, point of attack up front on defense, and just sound fundamentals, and then hurting ourselves with penalties. So let's just start there. And even not having looked at the film, I mean, we got to do a better job in those areas.
Sean, when you look at the losses this season, the Steelers, the Titans, the Colts, some teams that you knew coming in were going to be physical, how concerned are you about the physicality of your team kind of matching that on the other sideline?
Well, I mean, I believe we're a physical football team. Again, what I mentioned about the point of attack, in particular on the defensive side, I felt like it could have been better. We've been better, just in terms of our hand violence up front. So 250, 286 yards, whatever it is rushing is, it's hard to win. And then when you turn the ball over, that's a bad formula right there.
I know it's hard, Sean, to connect game to game, right, and personnel to personnel, but I think back to the Tennessee loss with what Henry was able to do against you guys, and there were comparisons made with Taylor coming into this one, and he was pretty effective. As strong as your defense has been, do you see that as an issue?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, we've got to get that fixed. There's a formula to win, and there's a formula on the other end of it too. And when you're giving up, when we're getting beat at the point of attack, obviously I got to do a better job there. So, we got a quick turnaround, getting ready for Thursday night, and getting the players back rested and ready to go.
Sean, how do you go about improving your run defense? Like, how do you do that?
Well, it comes back to there's a mentality with that, Heather. I would say that starts with a mentality and an attitude. In a lot of ways, it's a one-on-one game, and we talk about that as a team. It's a one-on-one game. You got to win your one-on-ones, and then you got to tackle well. And I didn't think we did either. Again, not having looked at the film, but just looking at it on the surface from the sideline, it was even times when we were there, it was pushing on us pretty good from 2nd and 7 at times to 3rd and short, and that's not a healthy way to live.
I know this is out of your control, but how much did you miss Star out there?
Yeah, respectfully, I'm just going to talk about the guys that are here. That's just what I believe in, and I thought the guys out there, they played hard. It wasn't good enough, but they played hard. I'll just leave it at that.
Isn't an extra goal, I know, when it's a COVID-19 issue that affects the anchor for your run defense, not to mention your right tackle?
Well, again, I respect those guys' decisions, and I'm going to talk about the guys that were here.
Coach, Indianapolis were able to, produce 70% on 3rd down. That's uncharacteristic of your defense. There's a lot of mental errors there on 3rd down. What do you think is the reason behind the inconsistencies on both sides as of late?
Yeah, I don't know about the mental errors, Mookie. I think just more they were on schedule, had some 3rd and shorts, 3rd and 5 or lesses, quite a few in there. We had opportunities, had an opportunity on the, I think the drive before half, and we're on defense. I think we roughed the passer one time. Next 3rd down, we had an opportunity on a sack, and Carson gets out. So there were opportunities to get off the field. We didn't get the job done.
Sean, with some recent and past ball security issues for Isaiah McKenzie, how confident are you in him as a returner moving forward?
Yeah, I'm confident. I'm confident in Isaiah. But we can't. He knows that we can't turn the ball over. I mean, it's you can be as good a team as you want, but if you don't take care of that football, you're gonna have a hard time winning.
Penalties in critical situations today on both sides of the ball. How do you clean that up? I know it's something that you've talked about multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, we have seven penalties, 5 pre or post, pre-snap, post whistle. So very untimely, and some of the unnecessary roughness calls or penalties, I should say, not the call, but the penalty. We got to play smarter, and I expect that from my team.
Sean, you've been very consistent how you handle wins and losses, but the Jags loss and then this kind of loss are uncharacteristic of what your team has been. Does that force you to or make you want to change things more dramatically than you normally would, or the way your players handle it internally more than coming from the coaches, meaning like the players get together? I mean, it's on the coaches, it's on the players too, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's on all of us, right? And the two common aspects of both of those losses were turnovers, and I keep talking about it, you cannot turn the ball over. I mean, we turned the ball over 4 times today, and it led to 21 points. So you just can't do that. And this team feasted on taking the ball away, and then we turn it over not only on offense but on special teams. You can't do that and expect to win. You make it really hard on yourself.
Like I said, nobody stepped up on defense. How tough is it to maintain, next guy up mentality when you have a game like this and a result like this and nobody does step up like
Well, that's what, and going back to Jerry's question about guys that aren't here, it's a next man up mentality, and we expect the guy that steps in to do his job and do it at a high level for us to win. I can't control the guys that aren't here, really respectfully, Jerry.
No, I just mean anybody to step up that is here. Like when that doesn't happen and a result like this happens, how tough is it the week after to maintain that message, have it heard?
I'm not sure. I just want to make sure I answer your question. Tell me what you're asking exactly here.
So, like I said, nobody stepped up on the defensive
Yeah.
side of the ball today. You maintained all season, next man up. When nobody steps up in the game and you go back to the drawing board and you continue that message, is it hard from a coach's perspective to continue hammering that home coming off of a game like this?
Well, I really feel like, maybe this game and a little bit of the Titans game were probably our worst 2 defensively this season, where maybe we got pushed around a little bit. And so, again, I've said before, you have to make adjustments. You got to see where you're at and then make adjustments based on where you're at and where you need to fix things. And that's what you do as coaches and as a team. We've got to continue to do that in that area, and then also some others that I've already mentioned that we've got to play. We got to do a better job, just fundamentally. I mean, how many chances did we have just to throw and catch out there today, and just on a check down, and we're turning our eyes too quickly, going to make the run before we catch the football and secure the football. So just fundamentals, point of attack on the defensive side, and again, turning the ball over. I mean, just it's a rough life when you do that.
In Jacksonville, clearly Josh was under siege the whole game, and that was part of why he struggled. But today, it seemed like he did have opportunities to make plays, and he didn't look real sharp. Did you feel the same way about that? Did he not have the kind of day that maybe if he had a better day, it would have been different? It seemed like.
Well, I think, Sal, there's a lot that goes into that, right? Some timing goes into it, and I think Josh would tell you there's some throws he wants back, and then there's some opportunities we had on the ball where he put the ball where it was supposed to be, and we didn't catch it. So it's really spread throughout, and again, it all starts with me.
Sean, the weather was fine to start the game.
Yeah.
You guys win the toss, decide to defer. Was there any thought of, okay, the weather might turn a little bit in the second half? Was there any thought of maybe taking the ball first?
Yeah, we talked about that. I think it was yesterday, in fact, Josh, in our meeting, and felt like the rain wasn't going to get that, which it really wasn't that bad, to where it would change how the game had to be played. I felt like overall, we have a strong arm quarterback, and the game changed how we had to play it because the score was what it was, and we allowed them to play their style of game. Didn't take away the best thing they did, which is run the football.
What was the thought process on sending Tyler out there for that second field goal on 4th and 5?
Yeah, I think they were up 17, and wanted to get it to, it was 4th and 4, so we're kind of not real consistent in a great rhythm offensively, and felt like if we could at least get it to 2 scores right there. And I saw his first ball, it was 50, would have been a 7-yarder. I mean, he struck it well, and we were going the same direction, felt good about it. So he makes that kick, which he normally does, and he will going forward. We're down 2 scores at that point.
Sean, how much do you think the miscues, whether it was forcing maybe some turnovers or drops or whatever, were a product of trying to do too much, especially with where the score may have been at the time?
Yeah, I mean, again, I felt like it started earlier, really, in the game, based on just guys trying to do too much. Like, just take what they give you, do your 1/11th, as we say, do your job, trust the guys around you, and then when the play's there to be made, you got to make it. So that's what it's called for.
Coach, with all the fundamental things that you just brought up that were absent in the game today, on this short week, are you going to be able to check off all those boxes, knowing your time is going to be constricted?
Well, you got to be realistic. I mean, it's the best thing, the most important thing we can do is get them rested. And normally I would say we're a pretty sound fundamental football team, and we stress it a lot, as you know. You're around us every day, Chris, and but we didn't have it today. So we got to go back and figure out why and get it back as soon as we can.
Along the same lines, with such a short turnaround, how challenging is it to not let this spiral?
Well, I guess there's some bad short turnaround because you can't really get back on the practice field for all that much time, and then there's some good to it, so you can move on and move forward. I'm not really sure which one I like more, to be honest with you. So at the end of the day, no one wants to go through what we just went through. Give the Colts the credit, but again, I believe we're a better football team, but we've got to play a better complete game than what we just did in all three phases.
Sean, with the inconsistencies, how big of a game is this week? Does it take on any increased importance with the way things have been going recently?
With the game this coming week, you're
Yes.
saying? Well, it's the next game, and it's a season it's a journey every season, and it's going to ebb and flow, and again, that to me is part of the challenge, and I love that challenge, to be honest with you. Not that you want to lose, but making those adjustments to get our team exactly where it needs to be, and learn who you are as a team, and we continue to grow and move forward, and we'll see where we are. We'll see where we are after Thursday night, and just looking at it 1 week at a time right now.